Mekton Heist. We lost Ark. Okay.
So it would seem.
It's like as soon as you said two, I was like, nope.
Yes.
I know.
On the bright side, our audio's on.
Yes, well, this is. I am not using. I don't know how to do anything with audio on this because this is the Twitch Studio beta because OBS was not connecting. So I don't know what is going to be happening. I don't know. I don't know how things are going to go, folks. So I apologize ahead of time. But this is Mekton Heist. Sorry, I lost something because I switched between things. We sort of have scripts, and because I had to like redo everything real quick, right quick, and I'm hoping that he's gonna make it back. I don't know where Ark went to. But we'll continue on and hope that he pops back in, and then we can just but since we're doing things a little bit differently, it's not going to affect anything. I just got us up and running. I do apologize that there's no captions once again. Basically, there's some software and things that we are trying to implement because we had to switch away from working and using Google Meet. Oh, that's also weird. It says Will is not watching, Ark is watching, so I don't know.
It's weird.
Okay. Sorry. So I'm NB Mega Pilot. They, them. I'm your host. Remember to follow us here, or if you're watching on our YouTube archive, subscribe down below. You can also tip the show. There should be a tip thing below. I can't really see things because I'm using something different, so I can't tell if there's anything down below for you to click on. Because normally I would just scroll down and make sure that it's actually there. But tipping us helps. And when you are tipping, there's like little like comment box. Make sure that you go ahead and state what show you're watching when you're tipping. That way, our fun folks here can actually get a little bit of that action. Because anytime you tip a show and you specify the show, then we take some of that money and give it out to the folks. Yeah. And of course, if y'all don't have it open or haven't seen it, the order is Emilio, Ark, Will, and Mrs.
Hey everybody. So my name is Emilio. Pronouns are he, him, and I'm one half of the Let's Roll Characters team. You check us out youtube.com/Let's Roll Characters. We roll random characters for different RPGs. And today I'm playing Beta, the space dog person. And it looks like Beta might be getting into some trouble today.
Hi, I'm Ark. I'll be playing Penjani, your Ibra coat wearing, kind of sort of scientist, kind of sort of thief, kind of sort of doesn't know what he's doing and feels like he might be in over his head.
Hi, I'm Will. My pronouns are he, him. Today I'm playing Roost. He's just a farmer dad who is used to the worst thing being dealing with cows or broken tractors, and here he is out on a space adventure where people are trying to kill him where he does not belong. But he's doing his best. You can find me, Will, at William C. Allen on Twitter, on YouTube at Rolla Will Save, where I do Pokemon draft content, and on the DM's Guild, where I was one of the writers for the first edition of the Eat the Rich anthology. You can and should go check out the other editions of that on Drive-Thru RPG.
I'm Mrs. RPGHour. You can find me on Twitter at Our Adventures, and my pronouns are he, her, or they, them, and I'm playing Bovine.
So last time, y'all encountered some enemy combatants from HII and sort of dealt with that situation. And then everybody kind of had some things that they were doing and then kind of relaxing for the rest of the day. Except for Beta. Beta decided to go on a little bit of a stroll outside of, like, right near the ship. And coming up on him is a very strange-looking vessel. It's a very tiny party barge, single level. It's basically just like a floating platform with like a minibar, is the best way to describe it. And it's driving very quickly in your direction. And you notice that the entirety of the crew on it is the pirates. And they have a pair of white boxer briefs on a pole, waving it to try and get your attention.
So I'm, I'm kind of, in full stride here. I'm just running in the mech, and as I see them coming in quickly from the side, I screech to a halt, and I turn, and as the dust kind of just billows around me, I just stop to wait until they reach me.
It doesn't take long. Somebody has modified this, and it's burning hot. Let's just say it's definitely got a smoke cloud coming out the backside.
Oh, quickly, I'm just going to open up a comms channel to my team and just let them know, hey, pirates are approaching with a white flag. I'm going to see what they want. Stay tuned.
Team, y'all never got a communication during the time that y'all were cleaning up after the battle. That never happened. Y'all are in the future, and Beta's in the past. You try to communicate, and you get a bit of static. It's not a normal kind of static. You can definitely tell that this is a localized jamming. It's definitely not coming from that party barge, which means that either they have something set up nearby, HII has something set up nearby, or there's a third party that you're not even considering that has something set up nearby that's jamming communications. It doesn't take very long for them to catch up, and it's somebody that you've never seen before. Middle-aged, very femme-appearing person, and of course, loosely stated, your friend, Dart, and I forgot his name all of a sudden. I think it was Darvos?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, that's not even the right one. Is this it? Hold on, I do want to get the names right.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at my notes too now.
No, Kirikos.
Okay.
So, you see somebody that you haven't met. They are a Salmarian. They're a lizard folk. She very much has a feminine Salmarian body. You see Kirikos, who is what's called a Draven. They're like humanoid dragons. And then, of course, Dart, which is a humanoid dart frog. Though his name is not derived from being a humanoid version of a dart frog, but as from the fact that he is a big fan of D'Artagnan from the Three Musketeers. Before the vessel is even stopped, Dart is leaping off of the end and coming up and running up and like knocking on your mech. Hey, 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 hey!
Whoa.
We gotta talk. We gotta talk. Hurry, hurry, hurry! We have another data pad for you, and I promise this one isn't gonna try and steal anything. I think.
So I'm a little nervous. I'm cut off from my pack. And the last time I dealt with these guys, they nearly stole and blew up one of our drones. But it's hard to resist Dart's infectious enthusiasm. And so I'll have my what's my like smallest weapon?
On your mech or on your person?
On my mech, I think I'm just gonna be. Well, I guess I just have all these huge cannons and things, but I'm just gonna be ready to, get in a fist fight if I have to. But hey, Dart, what's the deal? What's going on?
I mean, to be fair, I believe on your mech, on your Glade, yeah, the autocannons are basically like built in. It's like the little guns in the Gundam's head.
Mhm.
It's just a little like it's just like little burst guns. So those would be the easiest one to like kind of
That's the ones to have ready. Yeah. Okay.
look.
Yeah,
Look,
but I'm
look,
not making any aggressive moves.
look. I know we did something, and to be fair, we just want to get off world, and you have a nice big ship. And so we just felt that, just kind of borrowing your ship for a time being and then sending something back to get y'all later was just kind of like the best way to do things. And we promised we would have come back for you or sent something for you, but we kind of
Dart,
need to get off world because we kind of stole something. Then we gave we gave a version of that to y'all. And it's really neat, and I really do hope that y'all were able to replicate it and use it. Because your ship didn't come towards us, but we did get the signal that it was plugged in somewhere. And then when we tried to like move it towards us, it just looked like a little teeny tiny blip, just like a boop, boop.
Dart,
boop,
Dart,
boop,
what
but
do you
not
need?
a big blip.
Dart, tell me. Okay, first of all, why should I not smush you right now for what you did? And secondly, what the hell do you want?
Well, you see, we saw the whole thing that happened with the HII, and we were gonna come to help. But then we realized that if y'all got wiped out, we could just take your ship. So we thought, we'd wait to see if y'all won or not. And y'all won. So what we would like to do is try and see if you can't help us and maybe get your mechs to help like repair our ship a little bit. Because like we got pretty much all the parts, but we just don't have all the tools. Or if possibly y'all could get us off world because we have some enemies that are from an organization. I'm sure you may have heard of them, maybe sort of, kind of, because your ship's kind of like one of theirs, Ironbound. And we saw that like there's an Ironbound strike squad coming. And at first we weren't too worried because they're headed up.
Ironbound Strike Squad is on its way here.
Yeah. It shows that it's Zavzanigans, and we weren't too worried at first. But then we see that somehow or another Zavzanigan has died, and with him gone, somebody else has taken over, and so like they're kind of like really like actually like kind of like a force to be reckoned with apparently from everything that they've been doing and working on.
Okay, Dart, let me stop you right there. So there's a strike squad on their way here now. How much time do we have? Dart, who's your friend here? I'll turn to address the middle-aged. Was it like a tall, femme-appearing person you said?
Yes. So Sumerians are um, they range in exactly like what kind of lizards they kind of look like. She looks sort of like a humanoid gecko, um, but they have sort of evolved into a more humanoid form, and so she.
Is it clear that this is a person who's in charge?
Probably between her stature and the way that she is commanding around
Yeah.
Kirikos. Um, they're like trying to repair some things, trying to work on some things because like they the vessel they're on is basically like on fire right now. It's like smoking real hard. So they're trying to like get
Yeah.
that out
Oh.
while Dart is trying to like communicate with you. Um,
Okay.
but no, very much like Dart, she has two swords on her. Um, where is it?
I'll turn and address her if she's not, if it's obvious that she's not like literally putting out a fire or something at the moment.
No,
I
it's not
assume
a literal
you're
fire.
okay. I assume you're the person in charge here.
Well, yes, but he is more than capable of communicating with you on all the prevalent information, as he was the one that discovered everything that's going on. And, well, right now, it would probably be best if we were to move our Mektons into your mech bays and we all get out of here as quick as possible. Um, because I take it by what I saw from my data, that's an ironbound ship. Ours used to be an ironbound ship. We are both in it for ironbound, and considering the HII looks like they want to come down on both of us now too. Um, okay, we just lost Mrs. What'd you do?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at my character sheet. I went to move back to Gilded, and then it was gone.
Maybe it's single screen users. You might have to find your tablet and get it booted up and use that just in case. Or, you know what?
I just want to use my pretty computer at some point.
Yeah. Well. All right. So
So okay. Captain, is what do I call you?
Captain is fine. Yes. Let's go with Captain.
Um, you have to understand, you are not exactly at the top of our list of people to trust right now.
No, but if you look
But
at
I
the data
underst-
pad, you'll see everything.
This is another a new data pad for us to look at.
Yes, but nothing's encrypted. You could just view everything right there on the data pad. And I promise you, you will find it, well, to say the least, scary.
Okay, well, fair enough. I need to talk to my captain. You saw how things went down with those HII mechs. You can see that our team is capable. So, tight. I'll check in with the captain and we'll let you know our decision.
All right, but do hurry. We're all on a bit of a time crunch here.
I'm already turning to go back to the ship.
Okay. Dart is basically like right there. So if you look at this,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see the projections show that a wormhole opened up at the last planet in this system, and if you look at it, due to the size of the ship, it's actually going to take roughly about a day from when they came out of that space to actually get here, using regular travel. And so it's going to take a day. But the thing is that these readings were from 23 hours ago, and it's already getting very late. As you can see, the sun is the sun's already going down here, and but this is from 23 hours ago, so we probably have about like an hour before they get here.
We have
That's
Hey,
assuming
Dart.
though that they didn't go through the asteroid belt, or that they didn't get stopped near a space station, or that they didn't stop somewhere to refuel. They probably stopped somewhere to refuel. Maybe they stopped at that burger joint at the end of the system, because there's a really good burger joint at the end of the system that you can also get fuel from. It's really good.
Really, actually, I want to hear more about. Oh, okay. Listen, Dart, why don't you come with me? You seem to have a good grasp of what's going on here, and essentially, you could be, for lack of a better term, collateral. Make
Ooh.
sure that nothing.
I'm used to having people for
Fantastic.
collateral all the time, but I'm never used to being collateral. That might be a nice little change of pace, but I don't know, maybe. As long as you
You
don't
say,
feed me dog
Captain.
pellets.
We'll talk burgers.
Oh, so one time I went to this theme park in town, and there was a really good burger that I got. Well, I had to make it sort of
I'm
myself.
running. Can I just carry Dart on my mech as I head back to the?
Oh, absolutely. Yours does have a little bit of space behind you. Dart can technically fit in the cockpit with you.
So Dart's telling me these stories as we book it back to the ship.
Oh, absolutely. By the time that you get back to the ship, it's already dark. The side hatches are closed up. All the parts have been brought inside to be examined. The only signs that there was a battle here at all is the craters from the explosions, and the trees that have been ripped apart. It's probably a little bit after 10 o'clock at night when you actually are able to get back, and you didn't have communication with the ship until you were about the same range as you were when you were sniping the other day. So it seems to
So
be.
as soon as, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
As soon as I'm hailing continuously back to the ship as I'm running back, and as soon as I pick up a signal, I'm gonna let them know. Coming back with one of the pirates, they have another data pad for us, but
Pardon?
they say we've got about an hour before Strike Squad shows up. So I think this is probably worth looking into.
Oh, hell. Roost
Yeah.
rolls out of bed after finally getting to bed and starting to actually doze off, gets dressed, gets his stuff together, and heads down to meet Beta.
Penjani is going to be in his room, just kind of lying back and just looking at the ceiling, and then he just kind of listens to that. Just like, ah! And then heads down to the bay.
Bovin's been detailing his mech with a toothbrush, so there.
Did you convince any of the cleaning bots to assist you, or are you doing this on your own?
No, if you want it done right, you gotta do it yourself. You gotta put the love into your mech.
Is this one of those like, I'll take the trash out when I'm done detailing my mech things?
So, as soon as you're inside, you're able to input in the security computers, into the computers to do a scan, and you do see that the radius from the ship outward that communications will reach hits like right about that spot that you were when you were sniping. So it's almost that same range. It's basically like a dome of communication and you're not quite sure what is causing it. But you were quite a bit of ways, and you still didn't have any ability to communicate with your ship. And the pirates were trying to like hail you as you were heading off, to give you some other details, and like the communication just from that short distance wasn't able to connect either.
Ooh. I would definitely make a note of that. I'll want to discuss that with Penjani probably.
Penjani, when you hear this, there's three main things that come to mind. You've heard rumors of HII, that some of the tech that they use for terraforming can cause communication blackouts. And so a planet like this, that there are still some areas that are being like additionally terraformed, could potentially have that happen, but that would mean that a device would have to be real nearby, which would be dangerous considering all the settlements that are right here. There is that facility that's a little bit further out from the city, past y'all. That is one of their it's one of their little settlements that HII is developing at. You didn't see the direction that the mechs came from, but where they did meet the ship at, technically they could have come from that direction rather than the main hub, for where they came from. And that's a research facility, as far as you know. As far as y'all's intel has had, that research facility was just research. There wasn't anything about security forces there or anything like that, except for security forces traveling back and forth with information. I mean, of course, they have security staff on site, but not like Mekton security staff. The third thing is that it could be a separate organization, such as Ironbound, such as, you know, any major faction. Have basically, it's like your pods for soldiers, but they can drop it somewhere, and it basically does a communication blackout. The thing is that normally that does a circle, a radius from itself. It doesn't create a radius around something, but you do see that is the case right now. Unless something happened, unless somebody managed to get a communication back to your ship, or unless something else was triggered, there is always a slight possibility that it was something on this ship causing it. So sorry, that's 4. I can't count today. But that is 4 different things that immediately pop in your mind that could have happened. The last one is the least likely because of how easy, how skillfully, I should say, how skillfully you were able to get in and handle and work and deal with everything. But yeah, the data pad with the information, it confirms everything that Dart has been saying. It shows that a vessel is on an approach, and that once it gets to the system, or once it gets to the planet side, it's roughly probably about an hour from the planet, and then once it gets to the planet, it's about a 20-15 minute, if they know where y'all are. If they're just searching this sector, which this is the only inhabited sector on the planet right now, it could take them up to another hour. So technically you do have more than an hour, but once they breach the surface, getting out of here without some kind of a fight is almost non-existent.
So you all,
How big is their ship compared to ours?
yeah.
So their ship is more along the lines of how big the pirate ship is, which, depending on how it's outfitted, it can hold anywhere from 4 to 10 mechs. If they get rid of if they get rid of the cutter pods, or the pod systems in there, they can get all the way up to 10 mechs, and they can actually have additional mechs stored. The way that those work is that basically they're ejected out the side or the bottom of the ship. There's no launch pad like what y'all have. But if they were to find y'all, they could basically just open up the bottom hatches, launch 10 mechs all at the same time. So that would be the only difference.
What were you saying, Beta? I'm sorry.
So yeah, before Dart can jump in and start chatting with you all, I'll I'll try to relay that Dart and their crew uh, seem to be in a similar kind of pickle as we are, not friends with the Ironbound, and they've requested our assistance. They want to know if they can bring their mechs to our ship
So,
until they're able to get repaired.
so yeah, here's the deal. We have one other ship elsewhere that we just can't get to right now. It also needs some repairs. But like it just can't come down to a planet side. It wouldn't be able to leave. Its gravitics are not functioning, so it can't actually leave a planet again. But I mean, we could work on that while in space. So if we could just get to that, it's a couple systems elsewhere. So if we could just get like up there, it'd be really, really great. Because I mean, we have a few things on it. But we're just trying to get back up and going again. We do have one person there that's on the vessel. But
Roost is going to unlimber his battle axe and slam the head of it onto the floor. Now,
give the dudes a ride.
here's what I'm hearing. From what Beta has informed me of, you could have helped us deal with those HIIs. Had you, our bots would have been in better shape to fix our ship. Were that true, we could have had this ship up and running in a way that'd get it off the planet, and you could hop along with us, and we wouldn't have to deal with that. As it stands, we cannot get atmosphere side from this rock. We are stuck here for the better part of another day based on our repair schedule. What is it that you want?
Oh, what do I want? I'd kind of like to win the lottery or go back to that theme park again. It was really neat. It was a lot of fun. But if you mean like a want as like a whole, like as a crew, you see, if we could just relocate our mechs over here, I'm sure you have the room. We have some really neat ones. We could use those to help defend. The main reason that we didn't come to y'all's aid when the HII folks were here is because we didn't know if y'all would be able to take them or not, and we didn't want to, put all the mechs at risk, or the ship, because y'all ship was pretty much like good.
Penjani will install a kill switch into your mech's computer systems while you are here. We will remove it when we have all rid ourselves of this ironbound threat, and you have left our presence. That is the only condition I will set for you bringing your mechs over here. I do not trust you. I refuse to trust you. But you are right. We do need each other if we are both going to survive this.
Beta's picking up Roost's energy and is just like getting like more and more like leaning in closer and like looking meaner and meaner.
Well, I can't actually agree to that, but if somebody could take me back to my captain, I can relay that information to the captain and potentially get her to maybe bring our mechs over this direction. We can all have a conversation with everything right here, so that if everybody does agree, then we can just get on the ship and get out of here. Because yeah.
Ada, I suppose everybody. What do we think about this?
I remember being in the middle of something when all of a sudden we plugged in a data pad. It was the strangest thing. We plugged in a data pad and one of our drones tried to fly away.
Oh yeah, that was meant to actually bring the ship over to us. And lock y'all out. It was supposed to install new security protocols, because then that would allow us to have the ship. Only because we didn't know that y'all were in it for the Ironbound as well, and we didn't think that y'all would have issues with HII as well. And so we just figured that we could get some information out of get the ship out of y'all, and that way we could all get out of here.
Quiet.
All right.
Penjani, do you believe that you would be? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he started. I thought Dart started talking again. He wouldn't cut off Penjani.
Let me see if I understand this correctly. So, you failed to steal our ship the first time. Now you want us to invite you onto the ship to give you another crack at it? I don't trust you at all.
We have baked goods, fresh baked goods that we baked ourselves.
Oh well, that
Yo,
takes care of
what?
all the. I don't care about baked goods. I care
Yeah.
about whether or not you try to steal the ship.
Like, look, if they could give us like gas money or something, we can give them a lift.
Do you think you would be able to install some sort of kill switch onto their mechs while they're over here, Penjani? Something you could press a button and shut them down as a way to keep them in line while they are temporarily over here so that we can unite our forces to deal with this ironbound assault force that is coming?
Well, I can give it a try. I have been tinkering with some stuff and I actually picked up a couple of tricks last time I was rooting around. But I'll see what I can do. But if I can't, I don't want them anywhere near us.
All right.
RPG Hour, can I draw on some of my military background to, I should know probably what a strike squad's capabilities are and what our ability to defend them with or without assistance. Like how important is it for us to have these guys as allies?
So it's going to depend on their capabilities. You've heard of this squad before, and while many of the members are very capable, their former captain was not the most capable. Imagine sending Penjani out in an enforcer to be the frontline grunt, while Roost was supposed to go and try and hack something, and Bovine was sent to go do first contact with a hostile species.
Both of them would come out of that with some new best friends.
Yeah, I've fully believed that.
And hey, Roost has an okay score in hacking things. I put a few points in that. And Penjani is leagues above Zap Zanigan. So
Certainly hope so. It'd be real bad hours if he's not.
And we've just been through a fight also, so we're kind of licking our wounds to an extent. Although we didn't get too badly beat up.
We're not at 100%, but it's not like we're going in without. We're not going in badly injured, but
yeah.
No, but y'all's mechs are the most upgraded versions.
Mm-hmm.
How
many Mektons do you have?
Currently functioning, we have about 6 of them. They're really neat. Mine and the captain's both are swashbuckler types. They're really cool looking.
Thank you for answering the question.
Oh, but I get to tell you about the really cool
one.
Right. Kirikos and Darvos, they have gunslinger types. It's really cool because they have double guns on each side, and then they have rifles also, and then they also have this big cannon thing on the back. And then we have the one that's kind of like an angel thingy. It's got big wings that pop out.
You and I are going to take Dart in Beta. You and I are going to take Dart back to his captain. We are going to speak with his captain, present our terms, get her to agree, or leave them to their own devices, and then we will return to our ship with or without them. Does anybody have any additions, any problems with this plan? And I would like to remind you we are on a tight and getting tighter schedule.
Any more of that?
I am probably never going to trust these guys.
Neither am I.
But it would be nice to have another pair of hands to do something around here. Enough to be done. Maybe we can get them on board and they can help us with some of the repairs or something. Fine.
Better than fighting an enemy on 2 fronts.
Yeah.
Couldn't we just hide the chip thing and then they wouldn't have access to any of the ship systems?
Oh, chips! I love chips.
We did we did do that. So nobody but us should have the ability to interact with the ship's systems. It also means that it is likely that the ironbound ship will have a longer amount of time that they need to spend before they find us. But we have a little bit of time. Not a lot. Probably
move.
just a little. All
Let's
right,
move,
let's
Roost.
move.
All right.
Is there room for all three of us to ride in Beta's Fast Boy mech?
No, the Glades, they basically have like a one seat and then like a small area behind them. So technically, you could fit a person back there. Somebody like Dart could probably, like squeeze in back there. Roost, technically, you could squeeze in back there, but that would be like it would be one or the other. Or
Yeah.
somebody is sitting on Beta's lap the whole way back. Now, however, Beta can technically carry somebody in the palm of the Mekton's hand. They are big enough for
We
that.
also have a small transport shuttle.
Is the transport shuttle going to be faster than the mech?
Probably not.
For the Glade, the shuttle and the Glade are actually going to be on par with each other. They have the same movement.
We should have a mech out there in case
Yeah.
things go.
If we're going to do that, then I can pilot the ship and you take Dart, and we'll just take the ship and the mech.
Alright,
You were going to
wanna
say
ride my
something,
hand?
Mark. I'm sorry.
Oh, Ark was
Or
good.
not. I thought Ark was going to say something before I asked my question.
Oh no, he's just kind of stewing and trying to figure out if he needs to like move anything. Because like before it was just us, so like it didn't matter where stuff was, and now he's like, damn, is there anything sensitive here? So he's gonna be running around looking to see if there's anything he needs to move before the rest of Dart's friends get back here.
Yeah, good call.
All right. Well, we can leave Ark doing that. I suppose it should probably just be the two of us. Don't want to leave the ship unguarded. And I think adding Bovine to the trip is not going to add much extra support to us if we get into a mech fight.
Well, just keep in mind we don't have communications after a certain distance, unless Ark can figure something out unless Penjani can figure something out really quickly. We are going to be on our own out there, so we should be prepared.
I think we keep it 2 and 2 then.
I have a crazy idea, actually.
Oh, I love it.
I like wild ideas.
Well, based on the range, what if we drop the shuttle the edge of the range that can communicate with our ship? Would that still be able to allow us to kind of like bounce communications across?
Use the ship kind of like a relay.
That would only work if the ship stayed at the edge of the communication range to basically give a boost to whatever was leaving past there, so to speak.
I mean, that would be the best thing in the short term. I don't think that we're really going to be able to do a whole lot to figure out this problem if we're trying to get a quick answer. So
I'm confident you could figure something out if we had more time, but I feel like we need to commit to one thing or the other.
unfortunately, yeah.
All right. Beta, if you need anything else, grab it. We're going.
Yeah, I'm gonna Bovin, Penjani, if we can't communicate for any reason, I'm gonna fire off a rocket if we're in trouble.
Sounds good. I'll set the sensors to keep an eye out for explosions in the sky.
There we go.
I think that will be whether it's you or someone else, I think that'll be a cue for us to get things going.
Right. Yeah. Any explosions, be ready.
There are in the manufacturing hub. There are some flare systems. They attach to any Mekton fairly easily. It would only take about 10 minutes. So if you want to say that in character you spent 10 minutes attaching something like that, you could add a flare system to the mech or even the ship, the shuttle. It's just a
Hey, I'll
single
save
flare
those.
shot.
You can let's hold those 10 minutes. Might need them.
Yeah.
All right. And you have your glade back. I fixed the number on the sheet that was wrong. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
All
All right. Yeah. Let's. Oh, go ahead.
Gonna be proactive and start preparing the ship for takeoff for flight. Even if it is staying like technically on the surface, just to not be here if we have to not be here where we currently are.
Because right, the ship can technically take off.
So the ship can actually go to outer space right now. However, the hull has been repaired, but one hit to that area, one good hit, and there's no real reinforcement to it. So this ship can go to space. It's just that basically it's just the hull repaired, and there's no reinforcement behind it. There's no wall built in so that if that gets hit, that it's not sucking out, atmosphere from the corridor that it's connected to. So very much y'all can go into space right now. Technically, you could close off that port of the corridor, but you would lose access to that section of the ship, which would actually mean that right there is going to be the security on... oh, no, not security, because that's third floor. I would have to pull up schematics to tell you what would actually be cut off if you want that option.
Penjani, who's probably thinking about logistics a little bit, would probably just suggest like, we'll keep it as an idea, and like if the ironbound get here before we're fully ready, or if the HII shows up with a lot more firepower than they did last time, we can take it as an option and just at least get out. But we'll try and stay and do as much as possible before that happens.
Oh, I do correct. I was right. That's actually going to be the weapons room, security room, and hollow training deck that you would basically have to close off. That would be closed off. That's connected to that corridor area, and a couple of rooms. But y'all aren't using those rooms on that, so that's not really a big deal. But yeah.
All right, I guess Beta and I fly and zoom off to talk with the captain of these pirates and present our terms of teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all get to the edge of where communications is going to end, and as soon as you hit it, like your scanners are done. Like nothing is coming up. It's all about visual cues at this point. You can see the pirate flag from where you are at this point. It's still a bit of a distance away, but there is going to be nothing that is going to stop y'all between this and the pirate ship. If there's anything that y'all want to do, you're at a communication range. You can do a direct point communication with one another, but only because y'all both have a very specific type of point communication, a relay communication from Ironbound, as long as you can both see each other's receivers, which doesn't take much for the setups that y'all have. The Glades is on the top of their head. Basically just if the relay is available. If the head is not, blown off, or the relay isn't blown off the head, then you communicate with the Glade Mekton. And then with the ship, it's actually towards the top of the ship as well. So the shuttle, so you're able to ping pong back and forth any communication that y'all want.
Good to know.
Insight, yeah. Was Dart riding with me, right? Or was Dart in the shuttle? Oh, Dart was in the shuttle.
If Dart gets the option, let's start with that. If Dart gets the option, or if you don't drag Dart, Dart would have gone back down with you, talking about how much of a smoother ride your Mekton is. So unless Roost grabs Dart and pulls Dart off towards the side, that is what Dart is going to do.
Like a risk reward thing. Dart or Roost really doesn't want to take a ride with Dart, so.
Or am I the only one not hearing?
I hear you, Will.
Me? Oh, okay. Testing. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, sorry. My computer did that thing again. I really want to figure out why it does this. It mutes all audio.
Yeah, Roost has no strong desire to buddy up with Dart for a road trip, even if it's a short one. So he'll let Dart get in the mech with Beta.
I'll offer Dart. Dart, do you want to ride in the back, or you want to ride in my hand?
Oh, no, thanks. I like being inside. It's kind of like a giant, warm, nice hug. Because outside can be a little cool about this time of year. Inside here, you got system controls and climate controls. They're really neat. Ours sometimes just blows in the heat from the fusion generators. It gets a little bit warm in there. But it's kind of nice.
Well, don't touch anything. Let's go.
Ooh, what's this do?
It's the ejector seat.
Actually, all of y'all technically do have an escape pod. The center piece in your mech, can pop out and away. So you do sort of have an ejection seat. It's just that whole center piece would go flying.
So once we get back to the white boxer brief pirates, we'll I'll step up to them and I'll open up the I guess the cabin to let Dart out. I'll say, we're Captain, we've returned. We're considering your offer. I've brought my captain to discuss.
Roost will land the ship, walk over, and motion for Beta to lift him up, stand on the palm of your hand.
Yep.
Howdy.
I was about to ask, how much smaller is Roost than Beta that this is happening? And then you clarified with the Mekton, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm just picking Roost up.
My brain went there.
I think it would be more like a this,
So they're actually they have all their Mektons out. There's only 4 Mektons that are out there that look like they're fully functional. 2 of them have what appear to be swords, definitely 1 laser sword each, and then 1 physical sword. And then the other ones have multiple firearms on them. All smaller guns, different kinds of built-in firearms as well. It is definitely, they're not ironbound made though. The Mekton that you're looking at come from a company that builds very sleek upper echelon. These could have been gold plated at once, but it's definitely what was there is painted over now. Basically, this would be like if Ferrari made a Mekton. Is the best way to describe them. There are definitely. Sorry.
Oh, nothing. Don't worry.
There are some aftermarket modifications that have been made. They do have some additional communications gear. It does look like they have a baseline jammer. Y'all seen these before. It can basically do like a small communications, but once again, this communication does a radius around that Mekton, not creating, like a radius around somebody else where they could still communicate. But these can be, actually, that'd be something for Penjani. The other thing that you can see is that they also, a lot of the weapons that are on them are aftermarket weapons. Usually what goes on these types of Mektons are very sleek, stylish-looking weapons that don't hold very many shots. Like, if they come with a pistol, it does, 4 shots, and then you have to reload it. Because it's a very slim, sleek, looks real nice, sort of retro style, but also very much just super fancy. Like the rifles hold about 6 shots maybe. So they definitely went for aftermarket ones. That these ones hold a lot more. They do a lot more damage. But you see Kirikos, you see Darvos, you see the captain, and as soon as Dart is able to get out, Dart goes straight over for their Mekton. Dart's Mekton is purple and green. The captain's is purple and blue. And then Kirikos and Darvos, both of their Mektons are actually probably still the original color that came on these Mektons. They're like cherry red.
Nice mechs.
Thank you. They came from a special. We got a very special discount on them. I'm told that in human culture this is called the 5-finger discount.
Yep, I'm a fan of that discount.
Kind of.
Excuse me, sorry, Captain.
All right. Well, Roost, I suppose, will just lay out the terms that we talked to, that their mechs are going to be installed with a kill switch that our tech expert is going to have access to if they try to screw us over at any point before this fight is over. And that is the only condition that he will accept for allowing them to take shelter at what is essentially our flying bunker.
Well, it's not completely unreasonable given everything that's gone on. However, what do we have reassurance-wise that what you're going to do to them won't disable them and end up with us in your brig?
You got nothing more than my word, and when I come from, that's worth something. You want to try to strike some kind of other bargain? My ears are open, but we're on a tight schedule. One of us has tried to steal the other's ship. The other has not.
Well, I think we do have something that we could use as a negotiation in this situation. What we would like to offer. What we would like to offer in this situation is that you can keep these other 2 mechs, and I know that this might sound a little off because they're not fully functioning at this time. They do need some minor repairs, but when we acquired them, we didn't know if we were going to be able to get them up and running again, and I don't know that we have the capabilities to do so. We have the bays for Mektons here. We have crew quarters. We have a small conference room, which we have sort of converted into a war room, and we have our bridge. Of course, a galley. So we don't really have much on this ship. But we do have these 2 that we can have transported over. And there's 2 pods that would basically sit inside of the way the ship has It's basically like a pod that like slides out, and a Mekton would come out from there. Is how this ship works. And when they open the pods, you can see these Mektons, and they're not normal, and nor do they look like an angel. They're a little disconnected, but they look like dragons.
Mm.
Oh,
Mm. Well, that is mighty fine, mighty kind of you. Weapons don't mean anything if we die in the fight.
No, that is true. However, in exchange for you getting to keep these and use these however you so see fit, this would pay for us to be able to get out of this system and get out of here, and this would to get to our ship, our other ship, and in exchange that would sort of be an ongoing negotiation and partnership. Consider these I consider one of them, I'm sorry for trying to steal your ship and not coming to your rescue when HII attacked. And consider the other one a payment for getting us to our ship. You can always sell one. I mean, they are prototypes. The company that created them has already started working on new prototypes. This is the estimated value. She pulls out her data pad, pulls up the original company like portfolio on it. Like, there's a whole press kit in here, like everything that they were gonna be doing, and this is worth close to 250 million credits.
She chose the wrong person to try to talk numbers with. Roost is not out here to get rich. He's out here for revenge. Money's a tool, but he doesn't need an excess of it right now.
While it's up, you do notice that the weapons on it are capable of doing more damage. It's capable of doing just a single one of these weapons is able to do almost more damage than every weapon that you have on yours. They're all built into the mech. So if you're able to get one of these up and running, you'd have something more than capable of being able to do everything. They've got a lot of munitions. They've got a lot of stuff that you'd be able to grab and use.
So, in exchange for us committing no retribution upon you, you will give us these 2 mechs. And in exchange for sheltering with us and joining our forces together, we will keep a small leash on you to ensure that you do not stab us in the back. Are we agreed?
Until it becomes something unfavorable to us, we are agreed.
I'm going to turn around. Beta, are we agreed?
sounds good to me. Those are some nice looking mechs.
Turn back around to the captain. All right, we've got a deal. Get your asses over to the ship. Roost is going to have Beta set him down.
As he mentions the ship, do I look back and see the ship taking off? Bovine?
Bovin's just really excited about having new friends, and also not being in a place that they've been chilling for a couple of days, just in case Ironbound like has some intel or something. So, yes. Like, whatever y'all decide, Bovin was picking y'all up and we were leaving.
All right.
It's probably pretty epic. Like, we conclude our negotiations and we like turn, and then like behind us the ship like just starts lifting up into the air. It's very dramatic.
Like, get in,
Especially
bitches, we're
dramatic
leaving.
because Roost lied that we were able to fly.
That's the other reason. They always want to try, just to make sure we can actually leave.
Hmm.
So basically, you're gonna have to take a couple of your Mektons out of service, so to speak. So Penjani, figuring out that you'd be able to get these mechs in here. There's going to be a number of mechs that aren't going to be operable. To have your 4 mechs operable, and then to potentially have 4 more mechs operable, you'll have to essentially empty one pod into the other side, and just have them so that they're not, ready for the dropout. If you want to have them drop out capable, otherwise you'll have to use the launcher or open up the side compartment to launch into space if you end up fighting in space. So that would be the thing. Alternatively, you could shove a bunch of mechs at the front part of each of the Mekton pods, and then just have like the back 4 slots available. Your team on one side, their team on the other, or something. But that is up to y'all on how y'all want to arrange that.
Everyone on one side, or from one team on one side, and everyone from the other team on another sounds fine. Are we just like jumping back to when everyone's at the ship?
I am assuming
Or
so. Are y'all gonna try and like meet in the air and take off from there, or are y'all going to like try and like land close to them and take off?
Yeah, I can land it. We gotta pick up our shuttle anyway.
that sounds fine.
Hey, they got that thing up in the air, Roost. It's pretty good.
I see. The readings that from yesterday said that the outer hole's fixed, but it's like what would be a good comparison? We broke our leg and we can limp on it, but if somebody kicks us in it, we're gonna come crashing down.
I was thinking
It's not
more
get
bruised
kicked.
fruit. The outer part of the fruit is still there, but you poke at that real good.
Mhm. How hard would it be to find some of these native animals on the planet, the ones that affect the terrain?
Oh, there's probably a herd not too far from y'all, but they're asleep because it's the middle of the night.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Could hold on, give me 1 second. I need to switch over to my other sheet and scroll down real quick to where is it? It's expert, right?
Maybe.
Expertise, expert in wildlife. Could Roost make some kind of deduction over whether or not he thinks a well placed startling of some of these animals while they're asleep could, when they awake, trigger them to affect the landscape in some way? Perhaps if a ship was flying too low to the ground, maybe impact it with a sudden block of land?
Um, Technically, yeah, that would work.
All right. Roost is going to propose this idea to the group. Now, what I'm just saying is that we don't want to bring this fight into space with a wounded ship. If we keep this fight low to the ground, we get near some of these creatures that essentially terraform, these terraforming elephants. Then, if we were able to spook them, we might be able to turn that to an advantage of ours. A little bit wild, but If Ironbound's ship is much smaller than ours and they suddenly take a chunk of the Earth slamming into the side and they weren't expecting it, a good surprise on our hands.
Yeah, we were always taught that whenever we can use the natural environment to our advantage to do so, it's a great idea.
All right.
Makes sense to
Well,
me. I mean, plenty of natural formations and creatures are particularly devastating to some of the technology that we have. I think that there's like a type of lizard that gives off like a maybe it was a rodent. Gives off a lot of electricity. I don't remember. But the point is that it stuff like that can really mess up some tech. So that would be good. I like that. It's a good idea.
All right. Question will be when to use it, I suppose. Are we going to sit around and wait for Ironbound to find us?
That's a good
I
question.
I would like to not. I would be real happy if they came looking for us and found some dust instead. I would be happy. Not because we turned to dust, but because we left them in dust.
Our ship is not capable of jumping right now, correct? Am I understanding that correctly? Because the interior damage would be at risk.
No, you
Or
actually would be able to jump. However, you might not be able to jump more than once. So it may be a one-time jump type thing. It may be you're not sure that you would be able to make it to the next location and survive that.
Roost wants to bring their captain in on this conversation. Now, the way I'm seeing it, we got a few options. We can run from this planet. This ship is capable of jumping. Now, under normal circumstances, we could jump twice. There is no guarantee that our ship will not tear itself apart if we attempt to do so, which has several problems. It means that we can only jump once, and Ironbound can follow us. It also takes us further away from your ship, which is where you want to end up, Captain. We could try to hide, or they could try to find us. And at some point, unless this jamming lets up, they're going to find us.
Well,
Or
actually,
go ahead.
let me show you. And she input some coordinates, and it actually is going to be taking you. You could technically jump to the coordinates that she put in, which is to the location of the other Mekton, or the other ship that they had that they were wanting you to get them to, and that would get you a decent distance away. It also shows there are no there are no inhabited planets in that system. It's further out into like sort of the nothing. You're already on the edge of space. You're already near planets that have no direct affiliations. They're kind of their own planets, or they might have a new up and coming mega corporation. They might have a lot of people doing backwater research or something, but you're already on the edge of space. This is just going even further out. It is a system where if you get out there, getting repaired is going to be all on what you have on your ship already. Your drones and your bots doing the repairs that need to be done. You have all the materials, so it's not completely something that's out of the question for you.
Well, what do you say to this, Captain? We're both at somewhat of a risk if Ironbound catches up to us while we are split apart. They want both of us. We jump to your ship. We help each other fix each other up so that we're both into a better fighting capacity, and then we part ways. No other questions asked.
I mean, if you
The only other... Go ahead.
I mean, I think that we can get out to where we are. We've got a few things up our sleeves that could help. And we get away from where there's a lot of people. We don't have to worry about things if we get to where our other ship is.
Captain, you know the ironbound decently well, yes?
More than I would like to admit.
Are they more likely to come after us if we just run and hide, or if we take out this strike squad?
Honestly, if it's just the strike squad, we would be... It would probably be better for us to try and take them out. They didn't send a fleet, or even a small detachment, so... Maybe?
It sounded more and more to me like our best bet would be to stay here and take them out. They're not going to be expecting us to come rushing to them.
Yeah, we could set some kind of trap. We're more familiar with the area.
We
There's some
can, but
locations. Yep.
there is the concern. If things don't go well, what can happen to everybody that's on this planet?
Just I don't know if we just run, we're going to be looking over our shoulders for years to come.
All right, hey
Yeah.
folks, it's actually we're going to be taking a quick break, right quick. I don't know how to do that on the Studio Beta. It looks like Studio Beta didn't bring those options over, so hold on, let me pull up the Stream Manager. We're going to take a quick few minute break, let everybody stretch their legs, get additional liquids and everything like that, and we will be right back. We're going to take an ad break. All right, y'all are good.
Okay.
You should be.
Then I will return.
Or maybe not?
Yeah, it's add 2 of 8 right now. We good.
Oh, that's weird, because I've got it up and I'm not seeing anything. But you see ads? Okay. Don't forget, I can't see the chat on Gilded.
Was that for me?
Yes.
That chat on Gilded was not for you.
Okay. I think your mic moved because now, like, every time you breathe, it's like real heavy into the mic now.
Oh, no, my friggin' thing. Can you bring me my thing? It's sitting on top of my Wi-Fi receiver on my computer.
All right. Shit. All right, we lost a viewer.
Oh no!
Oh, no!
We broke for too long.
What?
They got impatient.
Eh. Yeah. I had to get new shoes for work because my steel toe boots lost their soles.
Oh no!
They were 10 years old, so
They had
I
a
had to
good
get new
run.
ones.
Although I'd
10
be surprised if you ever
years.
ran in them.
Uh, no, I did a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
Things were on fire, so.
All right.
Hmm.
We're about to go live again.
use-
Hey, folks, welcome back. I do apologize if you did not see the ad breaks. I do apologize. I don't know what happened there, but for some reason, it said that it was doing them, and then I pulled it up, and I didn't see any ad breaks. Or is that countdown? I don't know. Are we... Does anybody see us live?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Looks live to me.
All right, I'm only asking because it's still counting down, like there was still ad time that was going. So I don't know what's happened. I have to find out. I am new to these things. So I have no clue what's going on. I have no clue. So I don't need that screen right now. All right. So y'all are gonna try and locate yourselves next to or nearby a herd of the terraforming, so to speak, creatures, and basically lay in wait for the enemies, is what I'm understanding.
When you say it like that, it doesn't sound like the greatest plan. But yeah, I think. Well, what are we doing here, team? I mean, do we stand and fight or do we run?
I don't like the idea of going to the pirates' location that they have, their secret hideout, and feels like giving them the hand of cards. I'm trusting you not to use your superior positioning to screw us over. I would rather be rid of these. Oh, go ahead.
No, I agree with you. I think I don't want to get to their ship. I think that if we get there, they're gonna try and take our ship again for sure.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if we're going to make use of this teaming up, we either have to. It's not an either. We have to deal with this strike force that is pursuing us on our terms, and then part ways, and let those pirates deal with themselves.
Oven, we won't make any new friends this way.
So, Bovine, wants to take them to their ship and be buddies forever. However, the evil side of my brain is like, why don't we just like deploy their mechs and leave them as bait?
Because Bovine would never suggest that out loud, though.
Nope. Bovine wouldn't even dream of it. Because Bovine is a good being and I am not.
We know enough about how these land beasts change the terrain to even be safe around them.
Probably not. All things considered, as more of a get lucky and sort of thing, I think. I mean, there's some intuition with how animals act, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen these guys before. I've never herded terraforming elephants. I do not know how they behave.
Well, I say we fight. I've never been one to run from a fight, so
Well, I suppose.
You're still gonna get those mechs anyway, right?
Right. We already got one of
Those
them,
are
correct?
cool.
So both of them are loaded on the ship.
Okay, good. So we have them. Can't use them, but we have them.
Penjani
Give me a couple hours.
does a look over them, and you realize that with the fabricators that are here, you can create the missing joints, but you would need probably a good like uninterrupted 6 hours to get everything made and installed and tested. If you don't do all of that, technically you could get them printed and installed in about an hour. That's 6 hours for both mechs. You could technically get one of those mechs up and running in an hour. However, without testing it, without making sure that it's, everything's like kosher, it could malfunction on you. It could do, you just don't know what's going on in the OS or anything like that. So, you need roughly 3 hours per mech to make sure that everything's good.
Ark, the player, is horribly unlucky, so I'm not going to take that risk. But Penjani's loggy in the back of his head.
Okay.
Well, does Penjani share this like realization with the group?
Yes, he does. He would definitely share that.
Well, how long do we think that we can keep a goose chase going? Because those mechs are incredibly powerful. If we can stay hidden for 3 hours, or better, at worst, stay hidden for an hour and give them a chase for 2, we might be able to just use one of those to blast them out of the sky.
Try it. I mean, if we enough damage to their gravitics systems, then they wouldn't be able to, fly out and chase after us, and we'd have a lot more time. And we have the benefit. We have the benefit that we know that they're coming. They don't know where we are yet exactly. So.
Right. So the worst case scenario is they find us and they're faster than us, and we have to fight them anyway. Mm-hmm. The better case scenario is we're able to stall this out, and then we gain a massive advantage. Yes. I feel like that might be the way to go about this.
So basically, they're already breaking atmosphere at this point. So you've got anywhere from, if you're lucky, like 30 minutes if they don't already kind of know where y'all are, or you're looking at 10 to 15 minutes, and they're going to be like right on top of y'all.
Is it reasonable that if we started moving, that we could increase that amount of time? Or would it just be like they will find us? Maybe it'll give us 20 minutes, but it won't give us the other 2.5 hours we need.
There would be no way for y'all to be able to build up a whole 2.5 hours in any way, shape, or form unless you left the planet. You're not going to be able to get up to the speeds that you want safely in the atmosphere to be able to build up a 2 hours. Because as soon as you leave this sector, you're going to be the only energy signature anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't take them very long to get you at that point.
That makes sense.
Because where you are, there's a
pull
lot of
out
different
the,
kinds of electronical chatter. So there's them pinpointing you is going to depend on if they already know where you are or not. And if they already do, and you move outside of the cities, if you move like to the outer areas, that's going to make it even easier for them to hit you with like an orbital bombardment, because there's nothing around to stop them. Like right now, you've got a farming community, you've got, the pirate ship is sort of, nearby. Like you've got other things that are nearby. They want to make sure that they're not going to potentially upset somebody else and get a bunch of other people on them. So where you are right now is strategically the safest situation that you have, because if they do have any kind of orbital weapons, they could drop those at any point.
All right. Are we leaving the planet or are we fighting them here?
I say we fight him here. But it's a tough call.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be happier running. Can't run by myself.
Quietly.
What'd you say, Bo?
But we could leave quietly. Like, turn off exterior lights. We know what direction they're headed from, so we can hide our butts or our thrusters essentially from their immediate field of vision, and just kind of quietly walk away, essentially. Maybe.
Is it possible that we could quietly fly the ship off planet that they wouldn't notice and then jump and leave?
Not at this point.
Okay.
They're already at atmosphere. The size of the ship is just it's a very large ship.
Yeah.
There's no way to completely hide your signature to get off planet. You're either it's basically a are you gonna try and like fly up to them and meet them? Are you going to wait for them to get to you? Are you going to try and get them out to a more remote area? Like that's the option that you have with the best case scenario, or with the worst case scenario of 15 minutes. That's kind of the option that y'all have, is y'all can either try and go up to meet them, or shoot y'all selves further out past everything into more of like the wasteland areas and have a battle out there, or just hunker down and get ready.
Roost really doesn't like the idea of fighting where there could be civilian casualties, and like the nearest farming area, or like the nearest anybody, is not immediately around us, but they're far enough away, or no, they're close enough rather, that there's a risk involved.
So they're far enough away in regards to Mekton to Mekton fighting. They're far enough away in regards to like ship to ship combat. The problem is that if they're just gonna start bombarding from space, if y'all try to like really get going, really try to do something, they could technically pepper this area, and that could potentially potentially hit, like some outer village places for them. So
I hold up the data pad that has the map on it that we've sketched out. I said, "What about these ruins down here?"
Might be a
Isn't that
place
where
to hide.
HII? Isn't that where HII is camped out?
So there are some folks of HII, but there's also an archaeological team that's down at those the ruins. Y'all are kind of sort of like right up in this area. So I mean, technically, it's a little more than 30 minutes away. So if you're lucky, you can move yourself away from those farming communities. And basically, the only thing in that direction would be, if they are there, the archaeological team at the ruins, or the HII folks that are there trying to unlock the secrets that are from the ruins. But that would be the only folks that would be there.
Might be a risk, but it gets us away from the populated areas, and it gives us some. I don't like fighting in all this open terrain. It gives us potentially some kind of cover, something between us and the Ironbound. We have no idea what's there, so it is a gamble. Have I told y'all that
How
I'm
are
lucky?
they- Well, that's good. That's real good.
Oh no, y'all do
Some
know
of
what's
us
there.
need to be.
Well, no. Well, what I was going to ask was, what Penjani asks is, okay, how are they tracking us exactly?
So with an ironbound ship as big as yours, y'all didn't turn anything off until you went in the system. So they could have pinpointed your signature on planet side and could be coming down towards that. Which you're only a few minutes away from where you previously were. Once they start
Right.
heading towards that area, they'd be able to see, hey, there's the ship.
Big ass ship down there.
Yeah, it's a big ass ship. So, I mean, visually speaking, they'd be able to find you once they hit where you would have previously been if they tracked you back to that point. As far as like being able to track you, you've removed everything capable that you are aware of from their systems.
Okay.
I say that we start moving out towards the wastes where there's nobody there. I don't like the idea, even if it's not the farming communities. I don't like the idea of putting archaeological workers at risk, even if they're working for HI. Those people didn't ask to be involved in this. I say we start putting some distance between us and them. Get ready to launch, and maybe start climbing. Start moving out over the wastes and start climbing. Make it so that it's not easy for them to use any orbital weapon systems, and get ready to launch mechs out of the bay when we get sight of them.
All right.
That sound like a good flight plan, Bovine? Pilot Bovine?
I can do that.
All right, so just to confirm, what you're hoping to do is move further away from everything, and then potentially like go up towards them to meet them.
So less up towards to meet them. We are technically running away from them, but like raising altitude so that it would be less viable for them to actually use orbital weapon systems. If we're higher up, it's harder to use that because we can close the distance easier if they try to go for that option. And it'll also make it easier to fire mechs out of the launcher at them.
Sorta, yeah.
So up and away.
All right. So the problem with up and away is that it puts the launcher in an opposite direction of where they are, And as they begin to close in on y'all, you realize that the launcher is facing away. And you realize that they found you because of a very large glancing shot that goes across it. So this is going to be a little bit of a weird this is going to be a little bit of a weird thing for you to do. But Bovine is going to need to make a piloting check. You're not doing a Mekton piloting check, but due to the maneuverability of the vehicle that you are in, you are at a -6 for this check. And this is effectively
What is the roll?
your dodge for this.
Oh.
Wait, you said I was at a -6? Essentially.
Yes. All right, so roll another d10. Okay, so that brings you down to a 6 and them down to a 3. So you managed to basically get the flying pyramid just out of range of what they were doing. You're pretty sure that it you could hear the scorching. Everybody stretch.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt something pop.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh, my shoulders are killing me. I
All
regret
kinds of
Thursday.
cracking going on.
You all feel the ship just shift dramatically, and realize that they somehow know exactly where y'all are because they're right on top of y'all, and they're ready to fire weapons. The only weapons that you have to be able to fight ship to ship is your Mektons.
Got to do some kind of maneuver here.
Either we have to figure out some kind of maneuver. Bovine has to do something fancy to get us to point the gun or the launcher at them, or we need to just go out there and fly at them.
I do want to note, if you launch directly at them, you will all have to make a negative check to not impact them. Because of the...
That's fair. Probably not directly at them then.
I just want to make sure the wording is important here, because if you're launching directly at them, you can do that. But it's a potential that, your Mekton could potentially just smack through their ship and do some damage. I mean, you can technically do that, but you're going to take some...
Orbital railguns are a war crime, are they?
I have a question. For the mechs that we got that we were given instead, for services. Oh, that sounds really sketchy. Never mind.
Yeah.
Is there a reason to clean them, make them run it? Are they that much better than what we have now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Because I was gonna say we could just load them in the launcher and shoot them.
So the problem is
it
that
may come to that.
Without somebody in it to pilot it, technically speaking, without somebody in it operating it or some sort of program making sure that it launches correctly, it could potentially launch incorrectly and not go the direction that you want. Depending on
At that
certain
point, we're just
factors.
throwing a rock really far.
Yeah, it's basically like it's sort of like taking a slingshot and not aiming and just like pointing it in that direction and like firing and not looking if there's no pilot inside, because the pilot's going to put in a trajectory, hit the launch button, it's going to fly out there, and they're going to have the capabilities of trying to pilot it and operate it and things like that to a certain space. They're within that range that if y'all were to just turn around, that the Mektons are going to hit directly in. But you do have to like program it in, and there's no programming in, hitting the button, jumping out. It's not like a car chase scene. Once you hit launch, it's gone. It's breakneck speeds. So technically speaking, you could do that if those Mektons, which nobody actually ever took a look to see if they have the remote capabilities. So
Penjani will now take a look to see if there are any remote capabilities. And he's also going to brainstorm whether or not he could get one of our drones to sit in the pod and input the correct trajectory.
the drones are too
And we
big,
could fire.
but the
drones too
bots
big.
aren't.
And yes, we can put a bot in there and shoot it out, and we can always put it in one of the older models so we can hang on to the newer ones and worry about the upgrades when we actually have time for it.
Mm-hmm.
You could just, I don't know.
One of the mechs we already weren't
Strap
using.
an axe to it. Yeah, just strap an axe to it and just fire it out.
Oh yeah.
Axe first.
Y'all have a couple of extra enforcers, and y'all have a couple of extra glades, and you have one more of the shadows that Ark uses. However, the other shadow doesn't have that weapon that you have at the bottom. I don't know if you actually took a look, Penjani, to see that new weapon on yours.
I will take another look. I see that now. Yes. That's yeah. We'll definitely fire. If we have to fire a shadow, it will not be that one.
But yeah, so we're actually going to get initiatives. Oh,
really quickly, can I want to just suggest something to Bovine.
Yeah. Go ahead with suggestions. Everybody go ahead and make your initiative rolls.
And roll initiative.
The way that initiative is going to work is that you have enough time to get into a Mekton, not launch, but you can get into a Mekton ready to launch on your turn. Or you can roll a regular initiative and just do something on the ship itself instead. So if you're going to be using your Mekton, what you'll be doing is you will click on your Mekton's MR. You'll click that. Oops. And then click a D10, and that will be your initiative. You'll have to add a D10 because the skills are where the D10s are normally added. Otherwise, you'll just be using your regular reflexes. So, Mrs., unless you want to put it on autopilot, which you technically can do, but there's not the autopilot is a very basic program.
And not when we're actively being shot at.
Okay.
So I rolled the wrong thing for initiative, and then I rolled what you told me to roll, and I got a 10. Does initiative do exploding dice?
I don't know that it does or doesn't.
I don't think it does.
Okay, that's fine. If it doesn't, then I just got a 13.
And that looks like Beta got a 17.
17. And that's with the mech.
I'm also mech.
Yeah.
What do we think? Do we want to try and load one of the bots into a mech and shoot it out?
Yeah, I'm in favor of launching one of the enforcers as a Mac cannon at these guys.
Just keep in
Of-
mind, we're going to have to turn the ship
Yeah.
around to do that.
Bovine has
so,
to go first before we can do anything.
Well,
Um,
technically speaking, you can launch yourselves out the opposite, the way that it's currently facing, and then do a U-turn and fly back. Y'all's movement rates, your gun ranges also, technically speaking, you could fire from those ranges and not be at negatives from most of those weapons. Now, things like the
Okay.
axe and the auto cannons won't work at those ranges.
Okay.
But
so this might be cool and foolhardy. Bovin. So we're flying kind of up and away right now, and so
Basically.
our cannon is pointing sort of
Oh
away,
no.
right? So
Huh?
Bovin, this is a maneuver we used to do sometimes. If you drop the rear power and just hit the front thrusters, we'll tip up like this and start to drop, and we can then in succession fire zoom, 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 mechs
So,
up into the air, and the final shot would be positioned towards their ship.
so Bovin's a pretty badass pilot. Bovin's got you. Like, we good. We're gonna flip a bitch and launch you guys. It's fine.
Pop a wheelie.
Oh,
This
oh no.
mech
Oh no.
carrier.
you're
I'm
going
pretty
to,
sure at this point, Penjani starts panicking. He's like, "Oh, okay, all right. Wait. Where's the bot? Where's the bot? I gotta get the bot in here."
you're going to have to make 2 checks to successfully do this, because you have to turn on artificial gravity at the right point. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of stuff going everywhere. Things that are not magnetically
excited.
locked down. So you are going to have to make 2 checks when you do that when it is your turn. Penjani, let's go ahead and get your initiative.
Yeah, mine should be for outside of the mech, right?
For outside, yes. It'll just be your reflexes.
All right. Which is I was just looking at it. There we go. And that's what a D10 looks like. That's a 10 total.
A 10 total. Okay. Um, now, Ironbound, I'm going to go ahead and roll 5 different initiatives. And I want to clarify what these 5 initiatives mean, just so that everybody's not freaking out. Technically speaking, they have a similar situation. To what y'all are doing. So to speak, they have somebody that is in the driver's seat of the ship itself, and then they have a number of people that can launch themselves at any point. So let's go ahead and get this first one done.
I just don't need to drop anchor and yank the ship to the right to do it.
All right. So
0 cool points for them.
0 cool points for doing things the easy way.
Yeah, exactly.
I was hoping that we would have to like unreasonably abuse this ship at some point.
I mean, just because it's easier doesn't mean it's, faster. This might be faster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I did that. Okay. That is too weird that it was the same thing 3 times
Right?
in a row. But all right. And then for your allies, Dart and the captain, are going to walk out on their turns and basically magnetically keep themselves to the ship because they are close range fighters. And the other two are going to hold back, and they are going to Kyrikos and Darvos are going to wait until the ship is fully realigned in that direction. And they have let Bovine know once everybody else has launched, aim it directly at the ship. They've got some special shields that they are going to try and use, and they are going to try and not... they are going to basically try and launch themselves at the enemy vessel, but they're not going to go like try to go straight through the vessel. They're going to try and like take off like peripherals. So they're going to try and take off some like side guns and things like that by launching themselves at the guns, because technically speaking, you can kind of do that. So let me... I got to get their stuff up, and once we get these, it'll be a lot quicker to kind of go through. Oh, my Gilded app on my phone closed. Why do you hate me, Gilded? I love you so. Is this? No. Is this? Yes. Okay. Okay, so Kyrikos is... Whoops. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do these rolls for initiative right quick for all of them. So we are going to start with Kyrikos and Darvos. They actually have these same rolls. So we've got 16 and 17. And then, oops. And then for the captain... Okay, so captain's going to have a really nice one. And then... Dart is dead last out of everybody.
What did Dart get distracted by?
Well, the thing is that these are like really fancy versions of Mektons, and so like part of the problem is that like there's a lot of bells and whistles inside those things, and so like Dart has to be reminded multiple times to like just click the buttons needed and not like y'all see like the exterior lights on the Mekton like flashing and things like that. Like it almost looks like a club starting up for a second. But yeah, y'all are able to get everything going, and y'all don't seem to have a whole lot of resistance. Penjani is going to be the only one that does kind of go after everything.
Except for Dart.
Well, the captain and Dart are going to actually walk out. Like, they're not going to launch themselves. So on their turns, they're just going to walk out the bay and magnetically attach themselves to the hull. They're waiting for anybody that gets close enough, and then they're going to launch directly at them. So they're waiting for other Mektons because they are melee units. But yeah, so we're going to start at the top. So the captain is actually going to be the first one out. She's going to walk out, and she is going to plant herself to the right, on the right side of the ship. And you are more than able to see her, Bovine. She kind of signals at you, and she pulls out her blades. And next up is going to be Beta, and then Darvos is going to hold action until the ship has flipped. Beta, at what point of the trajectory are you going to launch yourself?
I think straight up. I think I want to come out just straight up in the air, and then I can kind of assess quickly and head whichever direction I need to head.
All right. So Beta's going to launch themselves straight up. Darvos is, of course, holding action. Next is going to be Bovine. So Bovine, let's see how well things are going to go for you for this. Are you going to be able to turn on everything that's needed? Is there going to be any complications in lining up the ship? So go ahead and
I'm
give
sure there will
me.
be.
Go ahead and give me 2 piloting checks right quick.
Okay. Ew. What the okay. I click the D10. Oh, it's because it already adds one whenever I click my thing. That's what's messing it up. Okay. What the
I think you accidentally closed your window.
I didn't. I'm having some issues with my laptop. Okay. I need to roll another D10 because I rolled a 1, unless you're gonna let me re-roll that because it was acting stupid.
No, it still successfully did its job. So just add a D10. Let's see what happens to you.
Okay, so that's the first roll.
Oh, just so you know, you could have just added that into it. You just clicked it.
No, I couldn't because it literally took me out of the table.
Oh, your roll didn't show up until after you came back, so I didn't realize that you had done that.
Yeah.
All right, so your total is going to be a 13.
Okay.
So you realize that this maneuver is much easier with the smaller ships that y'all have done this with before. So what's going to happen is basically
Well, that was the first. I have only done one check.
I know, but one is for piloting and one is for something
Okay.
else.
Okay.
All right, so sorry, I have a leaky pen over here, and I picked it up to try and use it for something, and okay. So say that this is the ship normally, and you're gonna go up like this and over like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what actually is gonna happen is that your ship is gonna go up like this, and it's gonna sort of turn. I know that fin's a little hard to see, but basically instead of going like just flat like that, you're going to kind of go like that. And so the launcher is going to be a little wonky, which may come into Darvos and Kirikos' favor in the end. But it is going to be a little bit of a tricky mess. So go ahead and give me your second roll. Let's see what happens.
Instead of a metronome, we're a breaching whale.
Yes.
We're doing the belly flop. We're doing the what the SpaceX shuttle did. Right before it blew up.
Oh.
18.
Oh, all right. Y'all are starting to get to that point, and you feel like the ship isn't going the direction that it needs to be. And as soon as like that point starts to hit, like you just feel the artificial gravity turn on. Everything lines up just perfectly, and y'all aren't going to have any issues or negatives to doing any of the things that y'all are going to try and do, for launching yourselves out, for getting a bot inside of an enforcer. It's as if you're in space
Bovin's a
and walking
badass
normally.
pilot.
He's a badass pilot.
Give him a second. He's got this.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just had an alert on my computer, and I wasn't sure what was going on. So let's go ahead and get the next roll out, which is gonna be... So Kirikos is gonna wait. Roost.
All right. So go ahead.
So beta launched here, so you've got anywhere from here to here to pick from.
I want to be pretty close to when beta launched, but I don't want to be launching straight up. I'd like to go at more of like a, what would it be? It went at like that's 90 degrees, or is that 40? Yeah, that's 90 degrees. So I want to go closer to like a 65-degree angle, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Bust out the protractor.
I know. Well, technically, this would be on the opposite end because we started over here. So, 45 would be here, 65 would be here, 90 would be here.
More like 117 or so.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. There you go. Oh, that was actually a test. Who could produce a protractor the quickest?
I don't even know if we have one in this house.
The prize is in the mail, Arc.
But yeah, no, so you're going to be able to launch out. It's actually going to be a little bit of an advantage for you. It's going to kind of put you at a good point. No need to make any rolls to like try and control yourself or anything like that. So you'll be primed for attacking and firing on the next round, and it's actually going to put you in a closer proximity to them. With doing this, let me think. Your movement rate is that. You won't be able to make it into melee range, and the auto cannons would be a slight negative, but everything else will be in full, like even your big beam cannon would be in normal range. You wouldn't take any negatives to try and fire that. Now, the ironbound ship is going to attempt a maneuver based on what they see that y'all are doing. And they don't make it. So the ship looks like it is trying to do some type of... how do I describe this? Not exactly a barrel roll. It looks like they're trying to, like, strafe back and forth. Because they're not sure, like, what's about to happen. With everything.
Trying to do the ET dance.
Yeah, but instead it's more like this. Like they're just... It looks like whoever's behind the pilot seat just isn't ready for this. So that's going to be
playing too much Apex. Their actions per second is too high.
So he's going to do that. So... All right, so he's going to drop and launch, which means that he has to do... Okay, so one Mekton does launch, and it's a drop launch because of the style of the ship that this is, and so it manages to catch itself and kind of fly back up. So it's in the front of it's at the front of the ship. It's not touching the ship or anything like that. And then next in initiative order. Make sure that I note that.
Daddy, I'm hungry.
Hi, hungry. I'm Dad.
No, I'm hungry.
All right, I'll get you something in a second, okay?
I don't know what's that.
You knocked something over.
Oh yeah, it's this.
Probably should not shake a fountain pen.
I think it was this.
Um,
Whoa.
might have a lunchbox in the fridge.
Hey, I need you to do me a top secret mission.
Me?
Yes.
Where is it?
Go to the fridge. Look to see if there's lunch boxes.
Okay.
If there's a lunchbox, bring one back.
Okay.
Real quick question: when you said that the second that mech dropped, is it close to the front of their ship or our ship?
Their ship. Oh, jeez. I don't know what happens if somebody gets a 0. Like a flat 0 for what they're trying to do.
What?
I think on page 14 it says they have a really bad day. I'd have to go back and check, but I'm like 90% sure.
Because of the action that they're doing,
You just hear a muffled inside the ship.
we're gonna say that this person is out of the fight. That they their mech landed on the surface in a not polite way.
Wow.
And yeah, and then last
Adrenaline junkie. He took the safety measures off because he wanted to go faster. Shouldn't have done that.
Oh shit! Are we about to have a repeat?
No.
No. Okay. So this person narrowly manages to stop themselves from hitting the ground. But they are now. So there's one mech that has crash landed. There's another mech that is down there with them.
I need some help finding my lunchbox. I went up and down and went down there, and then I need your help. to
Okay.
open it.
I'll help you in a minute. Okay.
Okay. Well, it's
Legit.
in a fridge when I would keep finding it when I don't know where it is.
Oh, we were actually past the part where we're supposed to take a quick break. I'm going to feed a hungry child, so we're going to take a 3-minute ad break. And everybody needs to hydrate as well, because right as we're about to leave, somebody decides to redeem points for hydration. Oh, God. I gave myself more space, and I still managed to, like, not...
Hydrate or dihydrate.
All right, hey, folks. We will be right back. We're going to do about a 3-minute break right quick. So we will see y'all in just a second. All right, run and grab anything that you need. Do what you want. I'm going to find some food to keep this kid entertained so that we can finish up this fight.
I'm good.
All right, let's go find some food.
Okay, my lunchbox.
So sad. I'm so sad that you botched on that. Would have been a success if you hadn't. That's just such bad luck.
Freaking roll a stupid 1, and then like my screen was like freaking out for a second, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I saw the 1 there, and I was like, oh fuck, okay. Here we go.
It kind of worked out. We didn't immediately lose somebody.
True, which would have been like a problem.
If the ship goes completely off to the side, Beta gets launched and is now out of the fight because he's on the other side of the planet.
True. Our breaks, I'm trying to find like comfortable, gonna last a long time pants to work, because I work at a foundry now.
Intense.
Cotton, so they don't. And I work in the part of the foundry that will light on fire. If there's going to be a fire, that's where it's gonna be. Is where I work. I work in the wax room.
Trying to make sure you find something
Right.
comfortable, breathable, and durable.
Yes. And like that isn't going to like make me super poor, that will actually fit me. And the only thing that they have, like the cheapest option, is a pair of pants for $55 that might fit. Big butt.
I wish I had advice
would
for
just-
you. I have none.
I would just get like blue jeans from Walmart or whatever, but the problem is they fall apart so fast.
Mhm.
It's like I'll get a pair of jeans from Walmart and they might last me 6 months. And that's like if I'm lucky. I'm very hard on my pants.
I get that. I used to work in a medical assembly, but it wasn't like I wasn't for the most part. I wasn't doing like wiring and electrical stuff. I was soldering and brazing steel and copper together, and
Oh, I love
also
brazing. It's like my favorite
yeah,
thing.
it's fun. It's something that if I had like a chunk of expendable income, I would buy myself a personal oxy torch kit and like do
They
copper art.
they used to have one.
Hey folks, we're back, and Lunchables, if you want to sponsor us and stock our fridge with Lunchables so that our kid can be entertained for the 3 hours that we do this, that would be absolutely amazing. Lunchables, please do this. Please do this.
Consuming Lunchables for 3 hours straight.
Dude, those friggin' chicken dunkers with the Capri Suns, they legit.
I've heard Lunchables described as charcuterie boards for kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Put in some grape juice, they being fancy.
In a little wine glass.
We were sadly out, but we did have some pizza, so Mini RPG has decided that she's going to be consuming some leftover pizza. So and I haven't heard a
Nothing
peep from
better.
her. So, all right. So we are back at it again, folks. We are in the middle of a battle. Sorry for that quick break, but if you have children that you know what it's like. So everybody's initial, or almost everybody's initial initiative has gone. So Penjani and Dart are the last two for y'all, and then we're going to start at the top of initiative again. Once again, for the enemies, we have one crashed and one that is on the surface. It will take a movement. It will take a full turn for them to get back up to y'all, to use any kind of, or get back up to their ship. Which means that potentially, depending on how they move, how fast everything is moving, there's a very heavy chance that there's no chance that they're going to be able to use any kind of weapons against y'all, because their ship and your ship are basically blocking y'all, basically. So, Penjani.
I believe Penjani is like booking it. Is like he points at the nearest one of the bots. Is like, "You here, me, go," and like books it for the for one of the unused mechs to like get it in there and shoot it out, unless it's already in there.
Oh, there are some bots around, like they're cleaning bots and things like that. Like you can shove one of them in because they're general purpose. It's just like they've got certain tasks that they normally will do.
Okay. Cleaning bot is fine. I'm good with a cleaning bot going.
They are going to, oh, I will clean the inside of this very, very well. You don't have to make a programming role, 'cause you can just give them orders and they'll do it. You explain to them how to launch themselves out of this. So what I need is a roll from you. I need 10 plus 12 as a piloting check for this bot, to try and not crash into the enemy ship, unless that's what you want it to do, which no, that's right, you did want it to do that. I need that check for it to do it in a way that could do damage to the ship rather than just, skidding across it and damaging the Mekton.
All right. So I need so it's 22 total then?
10 plus, it's a 12 plus a d10, sorry.
Okay. I can do that.
Oh, there we go.
There's a 5. Right. That is an 18 total.
Ooh, all right. So it's gonna launch out and it's gonna go straight at the enemy ship. And he's gonna get a chance to try and dodge this, of course. So it's gonna hit, and it's gonna hit in a very specific way. With it matching like that, it's gonna be a little bit less of an effective thing that we would want for it to be. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna let you choose on this. You can either roll a d10 to see a location hit for the bot, or you can choose between one of the three following options. The first option is that it will take out a weapon system. There are 4 weapon systems available on that enemy ship. The next option is that it could take out a small booster, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it does affect their maneuverability. It gives them a -2 to all ship checks for trying to maneuver going forward. Or you could say that it damages the hull skidding across the hull, which means that they can't go back into space in that vehicle. But realize, if you do that, that just means that they might have the resolve to fight harder because you just took out their option to jump and run. I saw that, Emilio.
I also saw that. What I'm thinking, though, is we can recall everybody and then make at least one jump. And, finish getting rid of the rest of the would-be pirates. And then we can, go about our business and do our own thing separately. And we'll have at least enough time to... That'll buy us a lot more than the, 6 hours we would need to get both of those special mechs up and running at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
And it might even buy us enough time to finish reinforcing the repaired hull so that we can make, multiple jumps. And I feel pretty confident that once we get to the point where our ship can hold up to being able to jump like twice in a row, that we'll probably pretty easily be able to lose them. Where we'll end up, I don't know, but we'll be able to lose them at least.
All right, and I'm guessing you say that out across the communications as soon as you notice where the damage takes.
Yeah. Okay. So good news. I think it might have done some real damage to the hull. Bad news. They're probably going to be real mad about that since they won't be able to leave planet side. So we should try and do what they can soon.
What do you mean? You mean we run?
I like running. Running is good. Running, amazing. Running, stretching your legs. It feel the wind in your hair. It's wonderful. Please, let's go. I don't want to die here. And he's going to look for something that needs to be done, and head towards that next. I don't know what that is yet, but he'll be heading towards a thing.
Okay. Dart's going to disembark their Mekton then and take up on the Mekton controls and is going to operate the catcher system. All right, hey everybody, I just want to let y'all know that I have done this a couple of times before on a couple of big ships like this before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be the catcher. If you've never played this really interesting old sport called baseball, basically y'all are going to fly like right in at the launcher area, and I'm gonna have to hit some buttons right at the right time, and it's a really fast, like really fast thing, and we're basically going to catch y'all. So like you don't have to worry about some things. You can just like go straight in, and I've got this.
I was like, Dart is in favor of running away.
And Kirikos and Darvos are going to align themselves with the... they're going to stick to the edges of the launcher, and they're basically going to fire out to try and keep the enemy Mekton that is still up and the enemy ship at bay. So they're gonna try and do those things, and the captain will, on her next turn, try and maneuver herself back in. So we're gonna hit back at the very top of initiative, which is gonna be the captain, and she's gonna get herself back down in, and that's gonna be her maneuvers for the turn, and then we're gonna go over to Beta.
I'm way up in the air right now.
So
did you guys say we're leaving?
You can make a piloting check and double move and get back inside, or you can try and be a diversion until everyone else is able to get inside and use your guns.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is take a few shots while I'm up here and start just letting myself drop back down slowly, maybe, or yeah. And actually, so I was wondering, so I've got the sniper, the heavy beam sniper, and the rocket launcher, and I would probably know if one of those is more effective, against a ship versus against a mech. Nothing about the stats immediately tells me that. So is it just the same?
It's going to be the same. A ship like that has the same kind of. You actually build a ship like that using the same exact Mekton rules.
Okay.
It's a different chart for building a ship like that, but its damage is in kills just like that. Versus the regular's damage, so it takes the same kinds of points of damage, so to speak. Let me see.
So this is kind of what I'm imagining. I shoot straight up out of the cannon, right, and I'm just like flying up in the air, and I reach kind of an apex where maybe I'm lined up more or less with their ship, and then there's this this moment where I'm just kind of hanging in the air, and I take a look, and is there any sensitive part of the ship that I can pinpoint?
Yes and no. You can try to shoot out their engines. It's a -6 to do so. You can try and shoot into the whole area that's been damaged and make a bigger issue, which is going to be a -6 as well. If you want to try and shoot like communications and things like that off of there, if you want to basically like take out some of the minor systems, those are -2s, -3s, -4s. Depending on how small they are. Like a small little communications array sticking on top, that's going to be a -4 because it's smaller. But you want to take out like, I don't know, you want to take out like a whole like sensor array, which would be more like on the front or the bottom. I mean, those are a little bit bigger. So I mean, it just depends on what kind of systems you want to take out. You're anywhere from a -2 to a -6.
I think I want to be a pest at this point. I want them to notice me. So let's go for their sensor systems.
Okay. There's a sensor system at the very front of the ship. With these smaller vessels, I mean, it's a little bit easier to kind of notice these things. There's one on top of the ship. There's one on the bottom. There's one on the front, and there's one towards the back, which is sort of still on the top. These are basically just to be able to create a basically multi-sensor ping. One of them operates like sonar. One of them operates, like a laser field. So they've got 4 of these sensor systems. It's a -2 to hit any of them. And your sniper gives you a +1, so you're really just at a -1 for an attack.
-1. So yeah, let's go for that one right on the front. And so I just need to add.
Yeah, just click your MR and then click gunnery.
MR. Gunnery. Okay. And I added the -1 manually, right? And that's
Yes.
So that should be all good. Okay. And then it's just a D10. Oh, whoops.
The D10 automatically adds itself in.
I think I did that right. Are you seeing a 12?
Yes. Yeah. No, you are fine. Let's see if he's able to. He narrowly manages to maneuver himself out of the way. You've got one more action. You want to move? You want to fire again?
Yeah, one more shot. Same deal. This one's going to be better.
Oh! Yeah. So he tries the same little, like, pit maneuver thing that he was doing a second ago, which is very similar to that maneuver that he did at the very beginning also. And you kind of realize that may be the only trick up this pilot's sleeve. And so, like, you are able to... Sorry, I'm narrating. Like, you could take over on how you hit it, but...
Yeah, well, I think you got it. I mean, I recognize the move, and the first shot goes wide, and then I've got it now lined up, and I'm starting to, I'm starting to drop now out of space slightly, and as I come down, I just line up the shot. I don't know what my gun looks like, but I just blast them in the sensors, right in the sensors.
Oh, anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah, no. So with the amount of damage that you do, you actually completely blow it to. The sensor arrays are only 2K for how many hits they have. Um,
Way overkill.
um, but yeah, no, it's gone. Let's see. Next on initiative is Bovine. Do you want to turn the ship right side up for your launch into space? Or what do you want to do? You're muted.
Like a twisting motion, yeah. Like,
Okay. You don't even need to make a roll for that.
oh.
Is there anything else you want to do? You kind of have like one more action here.
No, not really.
Okay. I will ask you again before we end. I will give you. You can hold that action until the end. So we'll just kind of see how
It's like,
things
are
are.
you sure you want?
Sure you don't. No. It's just basically a like we'll just kind of like go to the end, kind of see like where we're at, what we're kind of dealing with, and see if you've changed your mind or you want to add something or. Oh, I'm losing my voice over here. So there's a lot of numbers. They're gonna hold their actions until y'all do what you're gonna do. Roost. There has been a lot that has happened. You got a friend above you that is shooting down on everything. You've got, their ship. I mean, you can tell that whole damage is bad.
Mm-hmm.
In game terms, that was 10k damage.
Okay. Roost sees Beta aiming at smaller systems to be a pain in the butt, things that we can take out quickly to just make their job following us harder. He's reading the writing on the wall. Looks like we're going to run. He doesn't like it. He's going to follow suit, though, and aim at another one. You said there was another sensor array on this thing?
Yeah, so there's 2 sensor arrays on the top, which one of those is now gone, a sensor array on the front, and a sensor array on the bottom. So you've got, depending on kind of, because you are in between that ship and Beta. So you can use an action to move down a little bit further. You can attack the Mekton that is out there, or you can go for those system ships, the ship's systems.
I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at this Mekton.
Okay.
That's in front of me.
It looks kind of similar to the Enforcer that you're in. It's got its own like custom paint job, but the armor on it is not as prevalent. It's not as bulky of a unit.
All right. I am going to level my heavy beam cannon and take a shot. And so let's see here. It is. I apologize. I'll get this eventually. Remind me everything I need to click to shoot with my mech.
So all you have to do is click MR and then click gunnery.
Okay. And do I add the +2 from the weapon?
Yes, I do apologize. Yeah, you will manually add that in.
Oh, no. Oh, wait. No. We got it. All right. So it's only a 9 because I rolled a 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, and so you're up against him, so... Narrowly manages to dodge out of the way. You can either try and attack him again, or go for one of the ship systems.
Yeah, I think I'm going to shoot at the mech again.
Okay.
That's a lot better.
Oh, and that's a D10.
Load
So
I
that
rolled
bad
a
boy.
+5, so 22.
all right. Don't do that. That just had pizza on it. You got your hair all greasy. Yeah, you for rolling so well, I'm actually going to give you an extra 2 points of damage. Go put that down on your tray, baby. So how much damage does that deal total?
I think the cannon is 8k. So 10 if you're adding 2.
All right.
Now, can I have the candy and
And then I need to roll where I'm hitting, right?
Yes. Which I just realized, even though we are doing combat today, I did not open up the combat stuff.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, and I do need to touch one thing right quick. I realized last time I misspoke on something. I was misreading somebody's custom thing versus what the actual rules say. A pod is like a missile pod system, and is not like the cockpit pod that y'all are inside the Mektons. So that is a discrepancy. That is why if you look at the new version of your character sheet, you'll notice that you don't have any hit points on the pods. That's because those are missile pods, and none of y'all have missiles.
Okay.
Because you have a rocket launcher, like it's a physical rocket launcher, not a rocket system. So.
Are you looking something up?
Yeah, like I said, I forgot to pull up the combat summary.
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right, so that is going to be the head. So.
Pichu.
So his head SP is that. So. So the head is kind of like on the older Enforcer models is more like a dome shape, almost like the top of a tank that kind of swivels back and forth, sort of, with lots of little pieces shining on it. And it's currently not looking so good.
Daddy, I need some more.
Shh, hold on. So it's a much like I said, it is not as bulky of a unit. It is a much smaller Mekton than what you have. And so, yeah, its head is missing some of its pieces and parts. And that is it for you, and I have lost track of where I am on initiative. The one that's on the ground is going to check on his friend to make sure that he is A-OK. So he is out of combat right now. The ship did its thing. They did that. Oh, no, the ship did not go. The ship is going to get a chance to maneuver right quick, and then that Mekton, the enemy Mekton that you just shot, is going to get a chance. So the ship is going to actually try and take a pop shot.
Can you give me my Olaf?
Hold on. So I need you to make a piloting check right quick, Bovine, to try and figure out some way, shape, or form that you can maneuver yourself out of this.
Favorite yesterday. My yummy favorite.
Oh. Even with the negative, you're still actually going to be, I forgot to tell you that you're going to have a -6. But even with the negative, you are still at like +2 to what he just rolled. So you managed to maneuver that big behemoth out of the way.
Wow. +16?
Bovin's a badass pilot. I built him
Hey!
for one thing and one thing only, to
Games?
fly the ship.
Oh.
Played way too many sci-fi games where people were only okay at piloting the ship that they live on. That's a problem.
So sorry, I have a 4-year-old that's amazed by their first Pez dispenser. So,
Understandable.
They're gonna actually try a maneuver again. Unless you roll a 1. Unless you roll a 1, you are going to succeed.
Okay.
So just don't roll a 1.
You said maneuver. Are they shooting again?
Yeah, the ship itself is going to try and
Okay.
level its cannons at
Okay,
the ship
so that's
again.
Oh, I forgot to take put the -6 on there, but that's fine. 'Cause it's a
Yeah, no. Like I said, the only way that you could have failed is if you rolled a 1.
yeah.
And you'd still have to have rolled enough of a negative to actually affect it. This thing is a huge behemoth. You are getting a -6 to try and maneuver it. It's got a lot of jets on it. The thing is that, like, even though for its size, it is a very large vessel. The reason that it doesn't have any weapons is because they took out all the exterior weapons and added additional boosters. So when you maneuver this, it has the maneuverability of a smaller warship. Not as maneuverable as the little one that you're facing off against right now, but it's still very maneuverable. So you only get a -6 rather than the bigger minus that you're going to have. However, that doesn't seem to be any issue for you. Your
Logan's so
-6.
big, he's used to maneuvering big things.
You just hear lots of tiny jets erupting and the groaning of metal that's unhappy.
No, that's why it's taken so long to fix the ship, because it's reinforced in a way that it can handle this.
It's just a giant metal whale groaning through the sky.
So that Mekton that's in front is actually going to take a pop shot at you, Roost. They have a 13.
All right. This is just MR.
MR plus your mecha piloting.
Okay. Really just consistently glad that I put points into that. Except that I rolled a 1! Stop it!
Let's add a die and let's see what you got.
No.
I rolled another 1? Does it continue to explode badly?
No. That's it.
Okay.
So you
Slowly
are.
drain me.
So you don't manage to succeed, but you also don't horrifically fail at this either.
Oh, good.
So let's see here. So they have managed to target on you. A 2 is going to be the torso. So you're going to take a torso hit. So that's going to be 3 towards your torso, which I believe that you have SP in your torso still. So it's just... No, you just ate an entire roll of Pez. You can wait. Go watch your tablet. Okay. So they're gonna... Is that the first time that we went at it? Okay, yeah. So they're gonna try it again. So...
Come on! What? Alright, I get shot again.
So a 7 on a Mekton is going to be
Is it the left leg?
It's a left side limb.
No,
Our
it's the left
hubris.
leg.
Our hubris has come back to haunt us.
Uh,
I'll take my licks. How much is it? 5 or 3?
it's 3. This is a smaller
Nope.
beam cannon.
Left leg, 1, 2, 3. All right.
I remember that goes from
I'll wear
SP
this
first. For folks at home, the way that it works is that a Mekton or a person has 2 sets of things. You have a set of kills or hit points on an area until that area is rendered unable to function. But you also have basically like armor on top of that, which is your SP. And your SP burns through. So it's not like some systems where like it negates that amount and then you take that damage. It takes the damage, and then the other part takes the damage. So for those not familiar with this system, which I love systems like this. I hate trying to write them, but I love playing them. I have tried writing it. I cannot successfully. I have not successfully been able to do so, where it doesn't feel like it looks really weird. Sorry, I've lost initiative roll, which is why I'm talking the way that I am. Oh, we're back at Dart. Dart's holding action.
What about Penjani?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Penjani does go first. So, Penjani, what do you want to do?
We're getting ready to, like, book it, right?
Yeah.
And neither of Penjani's allies are back inside yet.
Correct.
He's a little bit concerned about that, but probably lacks the ability to just like recall them himself. So I think he will probably be checking he'll probably be an engineer. He'll probably like head over to engineering to just check to make sure that there are no like odd power fluctuations and just try to optimize the ship so that we can, have a solid jump.
Okay. Go ahead and what skill would be good for that? Let's do maybe. You have that. You have that. You know what? You have aircraft shuttle pilot. So I don't see much of anything else that you have that would be like absolutely great for this. So let's go ahead and get. Why don't you go ahead and do a aircraft shuttle pilot so that you can prep the engine.
Sounds good. Okay. Okay. Let me try clearing this, just to make sure that is actually the number that I'm supposed to be seeing there. That was a very high number, and while it'd be really exciting to have that, I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, all right. Because I had a plus 13, and I was like, I don't have a plus 13 in that. I want one. I don't have one, though. Instead, I have a total of 11.
We keep getting these low rolls. Roll doesn't like us today.
You know what? Penjani is going to, since I think we're almost done anyway, for today's session, Penjani is going to burn all 10 of his luck to bring that up to a 26.
Oh.
That's a mechanic. That's a mechanic. Wow. I forgot that was a mechanic.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, I thought y'all were just saving your points. I thought y'all were just saving your points. I'm so sorry. I will start reminding y'all. We
need a use them or lose them thing.
All right.
Okay.
Bovine,
remember.
you notice that all of the engine, all of the meters on your board spike. All you have to do is hit a button, and you will go to anywhere that you program coordinates for. You'll be able to jump from right where y'all are.
Oh, okay. Is
Jumping in
everybody in?
atmosphere a bad thing to do?
I
Sort
think
of.
we're.
Not for y'all.
Is that a war crime?
Well, so technically the equivalent of the Hague and the UN and all that just formed, and so since y'all didn't roleplay that out, I still haven't decided like what functional powers they have. So technically, maybe not.
So what I'm getting here is I should probably slow my roll, cool my jets, get out of atmosphere, and then jump.
I mean, you can, or you
Roost
can jump right there once everybody's back on the ship, and it'll cause a distortion and cause issues with that enemy ship and cause more damage to their ship.
Sure, but like if we zoom out a little bit, what happens to everything around that?
Yeah.
All right, well,
With
where
where
Bovine, I guess.
with where y'all are, the only thing that could potentially be affected. No, they're far enough away. The only thing
Okay.
that would even potentially be affected is the ground below you, which there's not. Everything's already like run. There's no creatures like down below
Oh, and
you.
we kind of decided to get out of the way of everybody anyway. So, okay, yeah, no, sure, yeah. As soon as everybody's in, we're fucking gone. Done.
Yeah. The
Because
only the only
Go
other thing out
access
here
in
is
the
the
ship.
HII facility. By the way, the only thing that you are close
suppose-
to is that HII research
mean,
facility, but it's not that close.
Oh yeah. Fuck
I
those
suppose
guys
that,
anyway.
Penjani and Bovine communicate that this is now an option.
Yeah.
All right.
Penjani will come over the comms and say, I think I'm just checking. Everything looks good, so I think we should be good. I think I rerouted the power. Okay. I think everything's hot, so we should be able to go now.
Oh, and hey,
All
everybody,
right.
just reminding everybody that I'm ready to catch everybody. Like that game, you're just gonna fly right into the nets. I will catch you. We will get everybody secured and ready. So y'all can just go ahead and come on in. If somebody will
Are we
do
still in
me
initiative?
yeah. There's still you guys got to get into the ship. The enemies are gonna try and still shoot at y'all for a second.
Yeah.
Get here. Daddy, how did I get here?
I don't know. Go.
I want this
Go
toy,
play.
I want this toy, and I want this toy.
All right. I think this is a full retreat beta.
Yeah. Yeah.
This toy, I want
Oh.
this toy,
I'm gonna book it. I'm gonna fly back down.
All right. So the last part of initiative was Dart, and we are actually going to end in the middle of combat. And we will bring this back up next time in story with everybody trying to do their stuff. We will make a couple of rolls off table to try and see what Kirikos and Darvos do for their held actions. They're going to take a couple pop shots at the enemy ship to try and do a little bit of damage and help things out. So we're going to go ahead and do our outros, which... I forgot everybody's order.
I think it's Chelsea, Ark, me, Emilio.
Close. It's Mrs. Will, Ark, and Emilio. For your outro?
I'm Mrs. RPG Hour. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at Our Adventures, which is actually a one-shot show with a round robin style game setup. If you're interested in playing some cool indie games, you can reach out to me on our Gilded server. There's a section for Our Adventures. If you're interested in playing or running a game or want us to play your game, message us there.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think I'm
thank
next.
you.
Oh no, I'm not
Oh,
next. We'll see.
wait,
Sorry.
no, you're last.
I'm last.
Last?
Yes.
Yeah. Will,
Yes.
Ark,
Uh,
Emilio.
we're good at this. We've been doing it for 6 weeks. I promise. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. I have been Will. You can find me on Twitter at at William C. Allen. I forgot my own Twitter handle, and it's just my name. And on YouTube at Roll a Will Save.
Right. I am Ark. You can find me at Ark Dragon Breath wherever fine social media is sold. I will actually be live on Twitch a little bit later today. So if you are interested in watching me play some Tales of Berseria, a very good game, but it does have some content warnings. So you'll check those, please, before you come in and check out the game. But I'll be live on Twitch, and you can find me at Ark Dragon Breath, Twitter, Instagram, wherever.
Okay, I think I know how turn order works now. So thanks everybody. This was a ton of fun. This week was great. I like all the mech combat stuff we're doing. So my name is Emilio, and I'm one half of the Let's Roll Characters team. We roll characters for different RPG systems based on the dice, and then we come up with fun and ridiculous backstories for those characters right on the fly. It's all kind of just made up as we go. It's a lot of fun. We've had some really great guests on the show, so check us out, youtube.com/Let's Roll Characters, or on Twitter at Let's Roll Cares, CHARS. And I also do some gaming on my personal gaming Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Vendoskeleton. And Vendo Skeleton was one of the people who gave some of those channel bits or whatever those are. I don't know what to do with those, so I'm like, I should just use them for things, right? Anyway, thank you, everybody.
This is Mekton Heist, which is a Mekton Zeta actual play. Mekton Zeta is by Talsorian Games. Today we used the dice roller. We also used all of our character sheets, and all of our everything that we are looking at and doing is on Roll, which is app.playroll.com or playroll.com, and that's ROLE. This is part of the RPGHour Studios network. We also have a podcast, Star Wars Legacies. We also have Routes Unknown, which is a first and third Wednesday actual play for Monster of the Week, which will be starting next Wednesday and then going until the end of October. We also have Indie RPG Hour, which is on Fridays. That is where we gather people together. Somebody will be hosting that's a regular in the RPG Hour Studios network. Most of the time it's me, and we will be talking about different kinds of indie topics with indie developers or people from other podcasts and shows. If you tip below, remember to please make sure to put, like where it's coming from and things like that. That allows us to give some money to the people that are out here playing. So if you like the folks here, be like, hey, I really like Mekton Heist. Donate some money below, and we get people money. We are no longer directly developing games under the RPGHour Studios name. It is now Dead Coast Games. Dead Coast Games has 2 games that are out right now, and we've got 3 more that are in the works, technically 4 more in the works, and you can actually pre-order some of those games right now. The 2 games that are out is Card Fantasy and Fighting Delivery Felines. Fighting Delivery Felines is based on a anime called... it is influenced by the anime of Samurai Pizza Cats. It is all about you are a delivery group. You are trying to get your food from point A to point B, and you can make the world as gonzo as you want, and have fun trying to deliver and defeat the enemies of the world. We also have Hexus, which is about cowfolks and witches. You can go as oddity western as you want, or you can go as modern day witches owning a spiritual shop, dealing with weirdness that is going on around them. The other one is Survival Guide, a zine TTRPG that I wrote back in 2013. I just found some copies recently when moving some stuff. I am retyping those up. It's this little booklet. I'm retyping it up and turning it in. Like I said, it used to be a zine, and that is going to be available here soon. And then I have another game that's a part of a game jam that I'm getting close to finishing as well, called Rune Nuns. That is not available on pre-order, but you can go over pre-order Hexus, pre-order Survival Guide. Oh, you can pre-order Ghost TV, which is a reality show where you and your friends build a reality TV show about hunting ghosts, and you have to try and gather enough evidence to convince the people who let you into their home or their facility that you found ghosts and that they're real. So you actually have to gather enough stuff and put it together and present it. And so that's a fun game that's going to be coming out. It's a technically you can run it without a game master at the table, and there's rules on how that works. And last but not least, if you liked this, you can actually talk to us about Mekton at other points. Gilded.gg /RPGHour Studios get you into the server. And you can actually say, hey, I'm a fan of Mekton Heist. We'll add you to that section of the server. And you can talk to folks and say, hey, hi, how you doing? I like that Mekton. Or why did you do that? Or, hey, I built this thing when I played Mekton. Do you want to use it to throw against the players? Sure, why not? Let's do it. I will accept enemies from y'all. You can go ahead and throw those at us.
The players know there's a luck mechanic.
And I will have to remember to remind y'all about luck every single time. Yeah, that's everything. I've got everything down on a list today, so until the dice roll again.